now. Joining us is Andrew MacKenzie from Albany Toyota, part of the Hayden MacKenzie Motorsport team behind FG01, chairman of Vega. What do you think, mate? What's been the reaction? Looks fantastic. How are you feeling now?
Well, I'm feeling really delighted in seeing the end product of the car. Personally, I hadn't seen this car since middle of last week, and it was a whole lot of just tubular metal, in my opinion. To see this car and its end product, I'm delighted.
And unveiled here at the CRC Speedshow at the Fujitsu Motorsport stand. Why Nick and Derek Mitchell from Mitchell Race Extreme to build the new look BNTV8? Why did you choose them?
Well, Clint, Derek Mitchell's been around a long time in motorsport. He's been he's involved with Trans Ams and with Super GT, and has built a number of cars. In actual fact, he built the first Monaro ever to be raced in New Zealand or in Australasia.
So they've got passion for cars. And what's the similarity between the V8 Supercars and the new BNTV8? I understand there are a couple of bits that you had to get licensed from V8 Supercars to use?
We had to get our license, in this case here, this car being a Ford, we had to get a license from Ford to use the IP of this car. And the IP, I mean, is intellectual property. And when they build these cars, they actually take a section out of the roof and out of the rear doors to shorten them up a bit. So we need the IP for that. We need it for the front splitter, for the front guards. As you see there, they need to take 18-inch wheels, and a 3-piece rear bumper and the wing.
And what about Holden? You got support from them as well from across the Tasman?
We have.
And why is that important? I mean, why, the support of the V8 Supercars, Ford and Holden, because you are going to be sticking with the real DNA of Ford and Holden, not just having one General motor. You're going to have a General Motors motor and a Ford motor.
The big thing is having, it is for those, so that we are running the DNA, but in respect to those two brands, before we went and put this car together, we needed to make sure that we did everything right. And by going to Ford and going to Holden to get their blessing on us using their design and their IP was very important to us. It's important to them too that we are using the DNA out of those cars.
And as the part of the board from Vega and the chairman of Vega with the New Zealand V8 group, what's the main priority there? What, protecting the integrity of the series?
Well, we believe so, that we can't have anyone walk up to us and say, hey, you can't have that on the car, or that car, you haven't got the license to do that. That is important to us.
And to make it, more exciting for the teams, the drivers and the fans for the future?
Oh, without a doubt. That's our biggest priority, is to put on a good show and obviously modernise the fleet going forward, because this is the car of the future, the NZV8 car of the future. This is the way forward, and we've got to migrate this car in over the next couple of years with the current cars, because this is all about New Zealanders, people who have day jobs, wanting to go motor racing and putting on a good show for the crowds, but at a budget.
Kiwi design, Kiwi built. How are you actually going to phase these in over the next year? Because, I mean, they're unveiled at the CRC Speed Show, and then we don't want the hot laps, and we'll get them to see the race in Hamilton. Why, if you're a petrolhead, they'll say, well, why can't you just start at Pukekohe in November?
For a start, one is we need to do a lot of laps in this car to make sure that we're happy with the chassis and the way it performs. Plus, it's taken 6 or 8 weeks to build this car, and this is a factory car, and you can buy them in different parts, like just the chassis itself, and build the car from there. But we've got to make sure that we have a car, when it comes out to race, it's going to do every lap it's racing in, apart from if it flies off the track. But that we need to have a number of them racing. We just can't go out and have 1 or 2. We've got to be fair to everybody. But that's inevitable. It will be there. I would love to see it at Pukekohe. That's not quite possible at the moment. But watch the space. You never know what may happen.
And who's going to be driving this car? I understand you've got a test pilot, and you may have a test pilot coming out of America via Western Springs Speedway, your other great love with passion for motorsport, Andrew.
Well, we really rate Tim Edgell, and Tim's really been up and coming in the NZV8s, and if it wasn't for 1 or 2 hitches this last season, Tim was right on the door, and it could have been him standing on the top podium. So we really believe that Tim, and where he's come from through karts, through Formula Ford, these cars need to have someone that is really good at setting up a car, understanding it, and we believe Tim is that person.
And well done on the orange beauty, mate. Excellent. Looks cool, eh?
Thank you, Clint.
All right, stick around. We'll be back with more from our CRC Speed Show special on Fujitsu Motorsport NZ.